Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this Red Bull Wololo Legacy tournament game, and it's going to be a crunch match. DeMusliM, representing Team Liquid, will be starting off in this best of three in the south of the map in blue as the Ottomans, and his opponent will be Marline Lord, playing in yellow as the English. The map being Cauldron, you have the central area here, which DeMusliM is actually going to dock here with two villagers. Rather surprising to see that happen. Often we see the English heading this way with the two villagers. Because they have those villagers with the short bows, they can fight off any aggression. And actually, looks like the Ottomans going to go and opt for that central position and the fishing ships. Interesting opening to the set. This best of three. The winner of this set will progress to the quarterfinals, and the loser, unfortunately, will be bowing out of this $300,000 land tournament for Age of Empires 4. And the stakes are high in this best of three. Have to be said, playing Ottomans versus English, it's an interesting matchup. The Ottomans can be relatively aggressive in the early feudal age, but so can the English to an extent, and it is certainly the English that excel in the super late game, especially with enclosures coming in from the mill technologies. But we shall see how this game pans out. There's a long time between now and a potential late Imperial Age game, and I'm sure DeMusliM would want to pile on the pressure as the game wears on. A couple of sheep coming in for Marline Lord. Interestingly enough, Marline Lord letting this happen. He's got the scout. He sees this is happening. And quite a bit of an interesting tactic could emerge here, because it could be the case that Marline Lord is quite happy for DeMusliM to dock here. And if he gets to the next stage quick enough, he might even come around and snipe the fishing ships with longbowmen, because of course, Council Hall will be the landmark of choice for the English here, with 4 villagers building that. And if the longbows do start sniping out the fish, that could be a bit of a sunk cost of wood there for DeMusliM. Gathering food though, that should help him get up to the next stage himself. Something to bear in mind as well is the potential for Marline Lord to dock the north side of this cauldron. This little center pit here. If you can put a dock here, maybe get an arrow slits and placement on that dock, that could be exciting to see. These are just strategy thoughts. I suspect it's going to be longbows coming out rather than a committal to a dock. I suspect more longbowmen. We shall see how Marline Lord decides to play this out, as the 4th villager does go out onto gold there for the Ottomans. That will help him get to the next stage, but also potentially afford wheelbarrow. I suspect it will be the twin minaret madrasa, the landmark of choice for the Ottomans. We shall see. Unlikely to be trade as the other option, especially because there's well, it doesn't actually appear there's any neutral. Oh no, there is a neutral market there. There we are on the north. It's not too far away, so it wouldn't be an effective trade route at all. And looks like Marline Lord going to take some of the deer out, just try and push them out of position a little bit. They'll be running around on the west side. Certainly going to be a fast feudal age here for the English, maybe coming in with some longbows to snipe those fishing ships. It will be the twin minaret madrasa, a landmark for the Ottomans that enables them to essentially get a free meal, but also have berries attached to this mill. And these berries do actually replenish themselves. Not only that, the food gathered from the berries are 50% faster. That is a very nice bonus. And he's actually placing the twin minaret madrasa around the deer pack as well. And that will be a nice transition from the berries to the deer as a drop-off point. So good efficiency here for DeMusliM. Oh, it's actually going to be a dock here for Marline Lord. Okay, I was expecting it to be more of a longbowman push, but he opts for a dock to try and contest this central area as he starts to bring back more sheep to sustain the food economy. He's going for a lot of villages on stone, looking for a second town centre behind this. And I suspect DeMusliM will do the same. We'll see. He does have 3 villages on stone. That might not necessarily indicate a second town centre, but rather possibly some military schools, which is a unique building for the Ottomans. Enables them to have free units. That's right, free units. Doesn't have to spend any money, or, well, resources rather, in this game for those units. And he does go up now with the twin minaret madrasa rather, 6 villages, and 3 of them, or 4 of them, are going to go to berries and the rest to wood. A longbowman does pop out though. Fishing ships could garrison inside the dock if they so wish. They are being healed up, and oh, it looks like it is going to be naval arrow slits coming in for Marline Lord, having got to the next stage. And it's going to be a struggle here for to defend this position. He's likely to lose a couple of fishing ships unless he micros this and starts to pull the fishing ships inside. In fact, he's not going to. Well, he does now. He reacts. He drops off the food. 42 food in there. Has the potential, maybe. Oh no, the range on this thing is pretty extensive. Holy smokes. I mean, he's fishing now, but once these fishing boats go back to the dock, they will be under fire. He might be able to make it work, actually. We'll have to keep an eye on that. 3 villagers coming off the stone mine now, being pushed off. Does have 250 stone, not enough for that second town centre, and so might invest in a military school. Has invested in a stable for some Sipahi. They'll be popping out soon. We'll be helping to take care of those longbows. Let's just see how those fishing boats are getting on. Gathering the food. Double broad axe coming in for the Ottomans. It's commonly done nowadays in the recent patch. There's the gong for the vizier points. What will he go for? It will be Anatolian Hills. And that means he will be getting that extra 8 sheep there. Especially being pushed off the food here. Well, slightly pushed off the food in the middle. Yeah, certainly will help. And it looks like Marine Lord is establishing some fish economy here as well. Has a village on the shorefish. And a fishing boat himself. A lot of food actually gets brought in each haul here for the fishing boats. Almost 40. I believe it will be 40, yep. The fishing ship's going to head back, but the naval arrow slits getting shots off. But okay, well, DeMusliM will continue with these two fishing ships quite nicely. Here comes out Sipahi, and something to bear in mind is that the arrow slits for the docks can only attack other navy units. Can't affect land units, as we can see now. The scout and the Sipahi getting their torches out, trying to burn that down to the ground. On the back of this, a wheelbarrow coming in, gold mining, or not so much gold mining, but just general mining. A specialized pick is being researched as well by the Ottomans. Paying key detail to getting those upgrades, as we see the second town centre is up and running now for the English. Now, DeMusliM does thrive in the late game. I mean, if there's a set between, I can't quite remember, I think it's DeMusliM and Kapoch. Yeah, it is indeed DeMusliM and Kapoch. And that set was incredible in Red Bull Wololo Legacy. It's 100% worth watching. One of the best sets I've seen in Age of Empires 4, and I've casted it on the channel, so it will be there in the playlist if you're interested in it. Might even create a highlight video from it. It was such a great game. But so DeMusliM really does excel in the late game as he now transitions into a second town center of his own. He's 3 villages behind, but not too insurmountable, of course. Fishing ships are slightly reduced in the HP, but they're being healed up, and it's good for DeMusliM that he's able to actually still fish here. We're running out of food in that little fish shoreline fish little pod there. Spearman comes out for Marine Lord rather, and DeMusliM needs to back off from that. There comes out the first and second military school, leaving enough space for a blacksmith. I suspect will be going in that position there, because the blacksmith enables the Ottoman production buildings to build faster, or train units faster. And the spearman heading in, trying to snipe these fishing boats, possibly. I hope the spearman will go for the dock instead. Sipahi getting involved and just passing there. Now, having the second town centre really protects that gold vein and that wood line. Might transition into some farming economy. One of the bonuses that the English get are cheaper farms, so it could be something that Marine Lord looks to take advantage of. Now, both of these players, of course, have a history. They are, they're quite chummy. They're good friends, it seems, and the banter is there as well, of course. So, certainly going to be an interesting best of 3. I think this is one that's going to be for the history books for sure. 2 villagers being pushed off for that stone mine. Looks like he's going to be saving enough stone for a 3rd military school eventually. There's that blacksmith influencing those production buildings. And let's just take a look what the military school are toggled onto. One is to Emehter, another one is going to go for Sipahi. That's the problem with scouting these buildings. You don't necessarily know what's going to be coming out of there. Speaking of scouting, Marine Lord just keeping an eye on this stone vein rather. Wants to try and see what's going on there. Spearman heading that direction as well. Spearman coming out for DeMusliM as well, though. It is hardened Spearman versus regular Spearman, so the English will be favoured in that fight. And strangely enough, Marine Lord backing away from that position for some reason. Relatively similar HP. And in the north, a bit of a raiding here. Look to go in the pocket economies with the deer there, Marine Lord, but he's going to struggle. Might lose a villager. He does indeed. 2 Sipahi there. Okay, Spearman going to be torching down that dock ever so slowly. Alright, looks like a slow burn of this game. 10 minutes into the game and not too much action so far. Both players playing the mid to late game, it seems, and it's Spearman here for Marline Lord piling on the pressure. Scouts getting involved as well, and DeMusliM might lose his position. He's extracted quite a bit of food though, so he won't be too disappointed by that. Especially as he's got his second town center up and running now. 3 villagers behind, does have the twin minaret madrasa as well. 4 villagers on those berries. It does gather food very fast, this landmark. As we see the Mehmed Imperial Armory, the landmark of choice to get the DeMusliM up to the next stage, and the Ottomans will be going into the castle age now. Building it with 10 villagers. Meanwhile, Marline Lord will be inching towards that castle age himself. He's not too far off, in fact. Looks like they're going to have very similar times. Will it be the King's Palace? Quite possibly, we shall see. It is indeed the King's Palace. Will be a third town centre effectively, going on this gold vein, offering a lot more protection, and we might even wall up this central area, and really limits the access points for the Ottomans here. 11 villagers being used to build that King's Palace. And looks like it's going to be double barracks and archery range in the influence of a second blacksmith there for the Ottomans. It looks like man-at-arms might be coming out pretty soon. I mean, if anyone does man-at-arms really well, it is the English though, so the Muslim will need to be careful by that. Continues to try and torch down that dock, and Marline Lord is paying attention. The Mehter comes out as well. There's another vizier point for the Ottomans. What will he go for this time? Will it be Janissaries? Possibly. We shall see. Could possibly be another military school that he will opt for getting as well. It is indeed. Another 2 military schools will be going down now, and that'll be 3 units. And that will really help the military numbers build up for DeMusliM as we head into the castle age now. Not a lot of aggression early on in this game. Both players pretty standoffish. It's a little bit different from what we've experienced in the Red Bull Wololo Legacy tournament so far. Another monastery. There is a monastery going on the front there. But a fantastic event so far, Red Bull Wololo Legacy. I'm definitely excited to see what happens in the quarterfinals and further on. Quarterfinals and beyond for Red Bull Wololo Legacy has a lot in store for us. The best players of Age of Empires 4 competing for that $300,000 prize pool. We've had some casualties, some players have already bowed out, but I won't put any spoilers, just in case you're interested in watching other sets that have been casted on the channel. And of course on the main stream for Red Bull. A lot of villagers going on stone here, possibly looking to save up for a keep, is DeMusliM. 8 villagers there on stone, although they actually now move away. Where are they going to head towards? That is a question. Alright, the stone mine just expired. Can go further forward. Army trickling forward now for DeMusliM, but good number of them, 19 military units. Dock now on fire, has lost a fishing ship, so I suspect he'll give up this position, but you don't really want to give up positions for free. Ideally, anyway. We see a mangonel on the field coming out from the Mehmed Imperial Armory. Question is, where is that mangonel? Oh, it's not produced yet. It's in the queue. 26 seconds. And it will be there soon. Oh, fishing ship actually ungarrisoned. Maybe possibly looking to get a last ditch amount of food. Actually, no, it's not really managing to. I think it just might be ejected from that dock. No villager en route to repair. It's going to be man-at-arms crossbow. I take that back. 2 villagers coming out. Will he be able to save it in time? Not entirely sure, actually. It's going to have the repairs out. Strangely enough, we can't see how much HP was left on that. I'm not entirely sure why. Demaship comes up and gets a big... well, wait, what? Marline Lord. Oh, no, he didn't notice. Oh, it was too late, and he didn't even get any damage on the meta and the archers. That was very underwhelming, I'm afraid. But the longbows are heading in that direction. Veteran longbows, no less. And he takes out the meta. There are 2 knights there that he's got to be careful of. There is a spearman. Spearman gets sniped, though. And actually, Marline Lord needs to head back for here. There is still a spearman on that front lines, but won't be enough on his own. He gets sniped by the crossbows. And actually, Ottomans looking strong here. 29 military versus 16. DeMusliM piling on the pressure. The 3 units from the military school is starting to ramp things up a little bit. Outpost going on that front line. Marine needs to defend this position. And needs to defend it fast because he is under pressure. He is on 3 town centres, don't forget though. So the economy will be kind of buzzing here. 9 villager lead. But it takes that time. It takes time for that to pay back. So does give a window of opportunity for the Ottomans, and DeMusliM is heading forward now for that keep. And this is exciting. He's going to put the keep on that wood line. Will give him a staging ground to attack from. Doesn't do too much in terms of denying resources, but it does pin the English back, and the English are being defensive at the moment anyway. Getting some palisades on the right side of the map. And the keep is starting to go up. Longbows thought about going ahead into that danger zone, but there are knights involved. And DeMusliM just needs to buy himself some time, but the keeps do take a long time to build. Longbows with a huge range, going to be sniping one villager. One villager does go down, and good thing for Marline Lord, he's got the ranged attack here. Going to be looking to get some damage on the knights if he can. Springald coming forward. Ooh, might lose a Mangonel there. He does. DeMusliM loses Mangonel very cheaply, but if he gets to keep up, it might be worth it. Knights diving in, getting hit by those spears. Crossbows in behind, looking to try and snipe those spears. The trouble is for Marline Lord, if he loses those spears, that could become a problem. There is a Springald in play as well, but it's not going to do too much to those knights. Spearmen coming in for reinforcements, and the Spearmen cycling around, looking to try and take out some of those crossbows, but crossbows looking in good numbers now. The keep does go up. The Ottoman keep is up and running, almost on that wood line. There it is, almost done. There it is, and it's going to deny a lot of that wood line. Marline Lord does still have his primary wood line, and it doesn't have much more wood elsewhere on the map. So there's a significant denial there by DeMusliM. This is kind of an issue for Marline Lord. He needs to actually think about safe wood. This gives a lot of map control for DeMusliM. But if Marline Lord can hold on for a long time and try and long this game out, I mean, he does have a superior economy. He just needs the time for that economy to translate into military. As I say that, the military numbers really starting to build up for DeMusliM, taking out production capabilities. That's the last thing that Marline Lord will want. 4 villages in that King's Palace. Now this is actually the lowest HP landmark in the game, and we might see DeMusliM doubling down, actually starting to try and siege that landmark down with his melee units. Takes a house down. But there is a trebuchet on the field now for Marline Lord. There is a siege workshop and a blacksmith going to be helping the production speed of that siege workshop. We don't see anything queued up though for DeMusliM. As the trebuchet moves a bit closer, military numbers starting to build up for DeMusliM, 42 to 27. That King's Palace will be going down relatively soon. Villagers pop out. That goes down, and only 2 more landmarks for DeMusliM to get rid of course. Trebuchet is going to be slowly working on that keep, and it's bought DeMusliM some time, but I'm not sure if it's enough. He needs to try and keep that keep alive if he can. Maybe a Springald or 2 will help him. He needs that Springald to come out. He needs a quick time. There's a Mangonel on the field. I get the feeling that Mehmed Imperial Army needs to switch to something different, although the Mangonels does mean that infantry is a problem for Marline Lord to produce, and he does have a lot of infantry, so those Mangonels could come into play here in game number 1 on Cauldron, as there are 2 Mehdes boosting up these units, currently toggled on to attack speed, but they keep on its last limbs. Only 2000 HP. There aren't any villages repairing. A couple more hits and that'll be going down. There are some villagers building production units here around the blacksmith that will enable reinforcements to come into play, and that's quite nice to see here, this proxy base. It means the defender's advantage isn't as strong as it could be. There's a Mangonel now firing off. Springalds are in the front line. They are looking to be sniped, but Springalds head back. There is a Mangonel. Oh, lots of infantry going to be hit there. DeMusliM takes a bad hit there on those infantry. No spread formation just yet. Mangonel, if another shot comes out from Mangonel from Marline Lord, that could be painful. Mangonel does get taken down, and it looks like it's going to focus on the trebuchet behind that, but there are spearmen. I think DeMusliM might be overcommitting here. Network of Castles bonus is coming in, but the meta is in play for the 15% bonus attack speed for the Ottomans, but it's the 20% for the English for the Network of Castles, so they have a net benefit of 5% attack speed increase, and that keeper's on fire. That will be going down soon. No villagers repairing it just yet. I think DeMusliM going to send some villagers now. Does have 500 stone to repair with, but where's that trebuchet? Is it still alive? It is firing off, and that's the problem that DeMusliM needs to solve. He needs some Springalds. He needs a way to take out that siege. Trebuchet unpacks. The keep is being repaired. Entry levels and numbers rather looking very nice there for DeMusliM. In fact, I think DeMusliM must have expanded to a 3rd town centre himself. Must be, because he's kept up with the economy. It might just be fishing ships. It probably is. Yep, he's got control of the middle of the map now. It's expanded to the waters, and that would be nice for him. He's getting a couple of sacred sites as well. Let's take a look at the relic count. I mean, Marline Lord behind this has done fantastic with the relics. It's quite surprising. Trebuchet continues to unpack, and there's 1 relic in that monastery. Where are the other 3? They must be hidden away somewhere. Probably at the back of the base, maybe. Marline Lord quite happy to play the long game. You can see the farming transition. I'm not entirely sure where those 3 relics are. Oh, there they are. In plain sight, really, on the front lines. You might want to move those, relocate that. It's quite a focal point of attack there. It's right under our noses, that second monastery. But that would be 400 gold per minute coming in for free as a passive gold generation, and it looks like the Ottomans are going to look to get those sacred sites. I'm pretty surprised that DeMusliM hasn't capped these sacred sites. Has a keep on the eastern border as well, and those sacred sites could activate a win condition for DeMusliM. So I'm rather surprised that there aren't any imams going out to those sacred sites. Ooh, Relic gets taken out of the monastery. Maybe looking to try and get a Wololo. Doesn't happen. The spears engage. Knights are on the front line for DeMusliM. He's taking the engagement. There are mangonels behind. 2 Springolds. Springolds get taken apart. 1 traded each. There's a Wololo, and DeMusliM needs to pull out of there. He does get out of the range. Yeah, he manages it. And that pushes the army back there for DeMusliM. Gives Marline Lord a bit of a time to breathe, but the army really looking overwhelming here. DeMusliM in the late castle age. He is pressurizing on the back of this. He has got 3 units from the military schools, and this big engagement on the front lines here. It does look like the sacred sites are being capped now, but DeMusliM behind all this pressure. And the problem for Marline Lord is got 2 monasteries with 4 relics, and that could be denied pretty soon as the army heads in. 73 army to 42, and the economy looking pretty similar for both players at this stage. As we head into that position where things are really heating up in the castle age, and the numbers are looking great here. The armoured units finding a bit difficult here. Marline Lord to hold on. Does have the network of castles bonus, but will it be enough? The crossbows getting huge value, as well as the veteran archers. Slowly but surely this push is coming in, and it's coming in hot because the English are looking defensive here. It's going to be difficult for them to push out from here. 22 military versus 60, and the pressure coming in from the Ottomans, the proxy base, the reinforcements coming in quick time. There's another mangonel for the Ottomans. Just a couple of trebuchets may be missing for the Ottomans, but if those come into play, that could become a problem. You can get 3 siege engines from that Mehmed Imperial Armory. I think there is a trebuchet on the field somewhere. In fact, look at the economy buzzing away for the Ottomans here. Does have that 6 on the right side, looking good here. DeMusliM playing as the Ottomans takes care of that 1 relic in the monastery. If he takes this monastery out, there'll be 3 further relics being denied. There's still the western side sacred site that hasn't been capped by the Ottomans, but he's got full control of the position here. But Marline Lord producing a lot of army. He's still got a lot of villagers and farming economy. Holy smokes, these villagers are really transitioning away. The trouble for Marline Lord is that he might be struggling for wood at this point. He's got this 1 wood line here, but there is a keep there that's full health as well, repaired. That's the monastery on fire. He's going to lose 3 relics. Takes those 3 relics out of the game, and this is a problem for Marline Lord. Has a lot of spears, but the ranged attack units that DeMusliM have are really helping his cause. 3 mangonels as well, and a Springold for good measure, and if the mangonels get hit on his infantry, that could be a problem. The thing is, Marline Lord just can't engage here. Not with those mangonels. Marline Lord will win with Springolds of his own, but if he does get Springolds, well, I mean, DeMusliM has 1 of his own. Get the feeling that Springolds are really needed here from Marline Lord. He's trying to hold on to the late until the late game, but he is struggling some ways here. But he does have a large man-at-arms switch. Trouble is, there are a good number of crossbows. Mangonels will do some damage as well, and looks like some of the production buildings on the front line are going to go down. Siege workshop is on fire. That goes down. Barracks is under pressure as well. And this is a concern. 3 mangonels will make short work of that barracks. Still no west side of sacred site capped, but I think DeMusliM spells blood. I don't think he's relying on the sacred site victory. It would be nice to activate that timer, but it looks like he's not too concerned. He's going to take an engagement here. Spearmen on the front lines for Marline Lord, and man-at-arms with the archers and the longbow behind. But trouble is that this is a big ball of army. Crossbows in behind on the meat shield. A couple of man-at-arms of his own for the Ottomans, but the mangonel's getting a lot of value. You feel the mangonel's having to unpack, trying to unpack and unfold on those longbows. Not getting the damage he wants necessarily, but it's a close one here. Just manages to save on to that last mangonel. Barely any HP left on it, but the man-at-arms doing well. Good number of crossbows still alive though for the Ottomans, and it's the crossbows that are really packing a punch for the Ottomans, pushing back the man-at-arms. Man-at-arms going to try and dive on the mangonel. Mangonel will go down if you feel... Oh, well, actually maybe not. No, the mangonel survives, only just. And DeMusliM with 49 army is now pressuring. The army for Marline Lord really disintegrated very quickly. Villagers coming out. This is a struggle. Where are these villagers heading towards? He's struggling for wood. This is the wood line, but the keep is there. And how does Marline Lord get further wood? He's still got good income, but it's just going to take time for that to catch up on the overlay there. 62 villagers on wood, I'm not entirely sure where. In any case, he's being pressured very hard. And DeMusliM with the mangonel shots Good number of man-at-arms though for the English pushing this back. DeMusliM might lose a couple of these mangonels if he's not careful. He body blocks those man-at-arms. Crossbows in front of the mangonel. Mangonel still stays alive, and this is great play by DeMusliM. Great micro. Longbows there are firing off, but not enough you feel at this point. 19 military on the field for Marline Lord. And there we are, DeMusliM rather, getting that west side sacred site. Better late than never. It's going to activate the sacred site win condition timer, and that might be difficult for Marline Lord to stop now, because he cannot focus any military anywhere else apart from this position just to hold. And he's forcing villagers to work and chop wood here, despite being underneath it to keep fire. This is a problem. He's going to have to try and take this wood here and try and survive there as long as he can. Villagers here taking the tier, and yeah, DeMusliM looking strong. Got full map control. The Ottomans now pushing in, raiding the farming economy. There's a sacred site timer activated, 10 minutes on the clock. Marline Lord is on a timer, has a strong economy, still has 120 villagers, but a forward keep going down for the Ottomans, and it doesn't feel like Marline Lord can stop that. And with that keep going forward, he'll have full control of this wood line, and the production buildings, the 4 barracks, they're going to continue to produce man-at-arms, but when they pop out, well, they're going to be under the keep fire, especially if boiling oil comes in. That's going to be a problem. A lot of villagers being sent by DeMusliM, is protected by 3 mangonels and crossbows, and it just feels like it's going to be difficult for Marline Lord to stop this going up. A couple of units, actually. Veteran archers getting in the way. Oh, the army getting in the way and not able to start building the foundation. They're in the way. There we are. They get out, and the villagers now start to build that keep, and there's quite a few villagers there, 22 of them. It's likely the keep will go up. It looks like on the west side, like Marine Lord trying to secure some wood, getting a keep in a decent spot here. Actually might actually be able to decap the sacred site if DeMusliM's not paying attention, but diverting army on the west side might be something that DeMusliM will be happy about, because it means that he can pressurize the middle. He's got a central keep now, and Marine Lord trying to hold on. He's still got 124 population in terms of villagers. Could be a mangonel shot, huge one incoming. Takes a lot of HP off those archers, but they are still alive. Boiling oil coming in this keep as well on the west side. Let's keep an eye on things. The keep is up and running. There are quite a few springles, but then we're going down to the keep. Villagers are there as well. 15 of them garrison inside, so a lot of the economy has been idled there, despite having a keep in that position. There is an outpost there as well, but looks like DeMusliM doubling down, wants to keep a hold on that position. And he's going to take the wood in front of him as well, DeMusliM, with those villagers taking Marine Lord's wood. Looking strong in game number 1 here. DeMusliM has 2 trebuchets, 3 trebuchets now on the front lines, and just like Marine Lord trying to hold on for dear life. He does still have 114 villagers to his credit, but he needs to find a way to push this back somehow. And the trouble is, he's running out of resources. He's running out of wood. How many villagers does he have on wood at the moment? 27. There are on the west. He does have some access to wood because of the keep. Villagers going to come forward. They're going to try and snipe out the springles. That might be a good option, but oh, a couple of lancers coming around on the back. They're going to save those springles, it seems. The springles could be repaired by villagers. A lot of villagers going down here from Marine Lord. You can see the village counter on the top is really starting to dwindle. He lost a lot by committing to that. Only took out 1 springle, and DeMusliM reaching the Imperial Age. That could be curtains for Marine Lord. How does Marine Lord come back from that? He is nowhere near that Imperial Age, and I don't think he'll be able to get there anytime soon. DeMusliM is Imperial Age, and he's got the sacred sites capped. 3 of them. No relics in play for Marine Lord. He lost those 2 monasteries forward, and this feels like an uphill task for Marine Lord. He's holding on, maybe just trying to get... This could be a stage in the game where, you know, it's the best of 3. Marine Lord wants to get warmed up. He wants to just make sure he's comfortable playing the game, and he probably will be looking to head into game number 2 and just biding his time. Just getting a feel for the game, making sure he's comfortable so they can focus on game number 2, because it really doesn't feel like there's a way back here, especially being an age behind. Although the military numbers are starting to dwindle for the Ottomans slightly. 36 versus 34, a bit of a pushback here with the 2 mangonels. I mean, surely not, right? This could be a big comeback if he's able to push this back, though. Is there a trebuchet there for the English? There is indeed. Looking to take that forward keep. Might reclaim that wood line, or partially. There's 2 kind of keeps that he needs to take care of. This keep on the west side really has helped Marine Lord expand. Not a lot of time left. 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes on that sacred site timer. DeMusliM losing a couple of villagers though on that wood line, and yeah, villagers heading back to that west side location now as well. Good hold here from Marine Lord, all things considered. Holy moly, what a game number 1, and that keep is on fire. DeMusliM doesn't have any villagers there, and does have the stone to repair if he was able to, but no villagers in close proximity, and it looks like DeMusliM is struggling to keep up the military numbers. That tech up to the Imperial Age was very expensive, but it does mean now he'll be able to take into, Imperial Age units, and that will be a huge step up in this fight. And there are 2 trebuchets there for the Ottomans working on that keep there on the west side. And if that keep falls, that'll be a problem. There are quite a few villages there on that stone pile. Lacking gold here, Marine Lord, and only 76, 77, 79 gold per minute from Marine Lord. That's going to be a problem to deal with as a massive units head forward for DeMusliM. The army numbers are stabilizing, 50 apiece, but the problem from Marine Lord is fighting still underneath this first keep that was built. But there we are. There is the GG. Marine Lord knows he's beaten. He won't be able to deactivate the sacred site, and he taps out. DeMusliM takes game number 1, and we're going to head into game number 2. Best of 3 is heating up, and Marine Lord needs a response. Match point for DeMusliM. Welcome to game number 2 in this best of 3 for Red Bull Wololo Legacy. This is a decider match, and well, decider best of 3 rather, and this is the second game between DeMusliM and Marine Lord. DeMusliM in this map called Wetlands is spawning on the east side in blue and playing as the Mongols. On the west side, Marine Lord playing in yellow as the French. And this is a comfort pick really for Marine Lord. He excels with the French. We've seen him do this time and time again with the French, play incredibly strong, and it looks like he wants to do the same. This is a crunch match. Marine Lord cannot afford to lose this match. And well, DeMusliM will want to try and win the set 2-0 if he can, but he's got a tall order against him, coming up with up against Marine Lord's French. On the map Wetlands, there is, plenty of shorefish to be gathered here. It's almost like Frisian Marshes, one of the maps that was featured in the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy, hosted by EGC TV as the Khan moves out on the west side of the map in that direction, looking to get some scouting information. Villagers now going off to gold, 3 villages on gold, and pretty standard opening here for the French actually, not bothering with the shorefish. And we'll be looking to get that fast feud age uptime. The Mongols now, will we see an outpost rush? That can commonly be the play here for the Mongols. We shall see if DeMusliM wants to do such a thing. Question is where is that Uvu? Holy smokes, it's going down all the way to the south. That is not ideal as a placement. Villager going out there as well, maybe to build a barracks. And I suspect, it's interesting he did that. It's interesting he didn't build the barracks back at home and then transport the barracks over there. Maybe the barracks is just a bit slower than the villager, maybe. Who knows? In any case, the barracks is being built, and looks like we'll be looking to get some spearmen at least on the field here for DeMusliM. Looking to double produce using the bonus of the Uvu. Will he look to get an outpost though? Where could he potentially go for an outpost? The wood lines are a little bit separated here for Marine Lord. An outpost here could be quite nice. Could be able to deny stone, wood, and shorefish. Depends how aggressive he wants to be here. And we shall see as the villager is heading out forward now, looking to build that outpost. I suspect there's only one reason. Yep. So I suspect he was gonna look to do an outpost rush all along, and that's why I sent the villager out to build that. Villager is moving out now. Interestingly enough, it'd be quite interesting to see how many scouts that Marine Lord went for. I suspect it's just the one, but the French, previously they did go for 2 scouts, but it is just the one, and he might actually not see where the Uvu is. The Uvu being so far away in the south, it's not visible for Marine Lord. He doesn't know what's coming. Khan being annoying on the village on the gold, and where is that villager looking to build the outpost? It's going towards the gold there. He could just build an outpost there on the gold and deny that gold and be done with it. But it's the west side gold that Marine Lord will be taking, so possibly something that DeMusliM will want to deny. As the spears are heading that way, and the question is, what does DeMusliM see? Does he see... Oh, he doesn't see actually where the town centre is. So, he's got a good idea where it is, to be fair, but he doesn't know where the wood is being taken. He doesn't have vision on that area just yet, and that's a concern. Could just be a spectator bug. It's not very clear here. In any case, 2 more spearmen heading westwards. Villager going on that gold vein, and he might look to deny that wood as well. That's quite aggressive. Going to look to try and get an outpost between the 2 gold veins. Marine Lord instantly deletes his gold mining camp. He does not want the Mongols to get the raiding bonus, and does have 200 gold still in the bank, so could decide to go for wheelbarrow or potentially an early night, and I suspect it will be an early night. Although, having said that, with spearmen on the field against him as the Mongols, oh, he actually deleted that outpost. I'm pretty surprised. DeMusliM being greedy here. He had the opportunity to get an outpost up. He's going to try and go around the back here on this wood line. And oh, I don't know if he will live to regret that, because he would have had good build-up time on that outpost. And now he's going to be facing up against an archery range coming out for the French. This is a big bit of detail. It may not seem like a big thing, but you know, by now he could have had this outpost up and running, could have had spearmen, garrison site, and yes, he wouldn't actively deny any of the current resources coming in for the French, but he would have denied for at least a period of time, or at least made sure that in the mid to late game that, you know, the French would have to deal with this, because that primary gold vein would expire, or this gold vein here on the east would expire soon. Only 4,000 gold in there. In any case, DeMusliM going for the outpost here. We shall find out how this one plays out. Interesting, though, so far this game, as the spearmen edge towards that town centre. And soaks up a lot of arrow fire. I think he lost the spearman there. And he's going to struggle. He's not going to get this outpost up, and he might be regretting that decision now. He's going to try and get an outpost on the other side of the wood line, as the Khan does use the movement speed to catch up with the archer. House being built by the French, and things look a bit precarious, though, for the Mongols. Not a clean build as he would have wanted here, DeMusliM. 4 villages on gold, and has 5 villages on that deer stones. Again, trying to get that outpost up, but not getting the value, and villager is on his last limbs. Only 10 HP, and I think he's going to run away with that villager. I don't think he's cutting his losses here, and this is not great. He lost the opportunity there to get an outpost on these 2 gold veins, and he might be ruining that. Obviously, it's a small thing, but I mean, these small differences make a big difference for this level of gameplay, this pro player level, pro player level rather. As a knight does actually get a villager kill on the gold, and that's going to be harmful for DeMusliM's attempts to get to that castle age. He's going to struggle. I think he's going to have to commit to the feudal age now. Won't be able to skip that feudal age, because it looks like the French are going to double down in the feudal age. One of the ages which are the strongest in, really. 2 archery ranges going to be up and running for Marline Lord very soon. Does already have the School of Cavalry, and the Knight is going to try and push back that Khan quite nicely. Scout is on his last limbs, but Marline Lord doing well to keep that alive. 3 HP will slowly regenerate HP, as you can see, moving up to 4 now, out of a possible 110, and the Muslim may be opting for a second town centre here. It certainly looks that way with the amount of wood he has got in the bank, 600. It's got to be a second town centre play, and a second town centre actually in this position here could work quite nicely for him. He'll protect the gold vein and have some access to shorefish, and shore up some of the wood there. We shall see where he decides to put the town centre. That would back him into a corner, though. It might look to be a bit more expansive, but it runs the risk of being pressurised by the French. And the French now, they notice the Uvu and the barracks placement. Not a great spot for the Mongols, has to be said. And he will probably lose this position slowly but surely, unless he can send some units there. He's going to send some units now. A couple of spearmen and the Khan, but yeah, the feeling is not going to be enough. Quite a few villagers going there. 10 in that crevice between the woodline and the gold. Not opting for the shorefish in the end. They're going to move the Gur that position instead. Spearmen heading that direction, and trouble for DeMusliM is that there are 2 archers, and the archers are on point. They're going to be looking to take down the spearmen if you can. Actually, loses 1 archer though, so it'll take some time. I mean, the knights might even just try and get a charge attack on the spears as more archers actually head in. So Marline Lord will be happy with this position. Should be able to take care of those spearmen. And the Khan does fall. 3 spearmen head back home. Cannot take an engagement against this number of archers. 5 of them there from Marline Lord. 2 knights continue with the torch damage on that Uvu, as the villager lead is starting to reduce now because of the fact that DeMusliM has 2 town centres. But let's just have a look at what Marline Lord is up to. Has he gone up for a second town centre himself? He's going to stick with the 1 town centre himself, and he's actually gone for a double stable now. He's gone for a second stable. He's going to play heavy feudal age aggression. You can feel it. And that could be the nice play. He's going to try and punish the Mongols for going for that second town centre. Now, I mean, this is interesting because he's actually going to try and shore up this shorefish with the outposts. A couple of archers going to head in this direction. Going to be sniping one of the villages at least. Loses a villager there, DeMusliM. And the French will be able to keep up a little bit for the time being. Loses another villager. Holy smokes, 3 villagers maybe. Yeah, he loses 3 villagers. That's a very good pick-off for Marline Lord. Might lose 1 archer, but that's definitely a worthwhile trade. He doesn't even lose an archer. And in fact, those archers are going to stay alive to take out those spearmen. Uvu still on 590 HP. Is now going to be torched down again by 3 knights. Archers on hot pursuit of those spears. And the military numbers starting to build up. 11 for Marline Lord. Continues to produce from 2 archer ranges and the School of Cavalry and Stable. Actually, there's no knights being queued up there. He's in fact going for wheelbarrow now, Marline Lord, and the archer upgrade, the iron undermesh upgrade. as arrow slits come out in the outpost there for DeMusliM. Building barracks close to home. Not building it, rather transporting it. It's making its way back, and that's a bit weird. Okay, yeah, that was a bit of a spectator bug, but that overview now is destroyed, and stone income and double production not an option for DeMusliM at the moment. Heads around the east side. The knight's going to try and get some value. Not enough space for the villagers to garrison inside. The knight's going to dive in. Looks like Marline Lord is keen on that village kill. He pulls out at the last minute, and I don't know about that. I think he's going to lose the knight anyway. Could have been worth taking a village, but anyway, it is what it is. And new Khan does rise for the Mongols and DeMusliM, but even being on two town centres, well, the French are still ahead on villages just purely because of the fact that Marline Lord is killing villagers. And he does have some villages on stone, so might look to transition to a second town centre himself, or slowly gather resources for a castle when he does get to the castle age. But you know, the French town centre does produce villages faster, so that's really helping the French in this situation. Not to mention, army really starting to build up. 16 military for Marline Lord. Only 1 military on the field, and I don't know if that even includes the Khan. It might do. I think that includes the Khan. The Muslim going to be under pressure soon, you feel, and he is going to struggle. I think there's going to be some rams on the field soon for the French. Where can he pressure? That is the question. Where can the French pressure right now? I can hear a ram being built. Yeah, it is indeed the case. That ram will be making its way forward soon. Chivalry coming in will be helpful to heal up those knights, keep those units alive longer, get more value. The village going here on the west side for the Mongols. Maybe looking to get... I'm not sure what this village is up to. Maybe to get an Uvu. Yeah, it is indeed the case. Going to get an Uvu here on the west side. Stone mines are pretty badly spaced here in this map. Wetlands. So a bit of a surprise pick here for the Mongols. Using the Mongols here. It might be a bit of a throwaway civ. And actually, this could work out. Like, you have to think strategically in a best of 3. Well, Marline Lord's favourite civ, his strongest civ, is arguably the French. And, well, maybe DeMusliM is throwing away Mongols and he's letting French being played here. And it means that he might be setting himself out for the third game. Could be a bit of mind games. Could be a bit of long-term strategy beyond just this singular game. So we'd have to bear that in consideration. Outpost is under pressure now from the ram. Is this something that DeMusliM will be able to push back? Time will tell. Spearmen do head in to try and take care of that ram, but there are archers there for Marline Lord. Will pick apart those spearmen. Villagers vacate the area. They ungarrison. Spearmen are garrisoned inside that outpost. They're kind of trapped at the stage. Focus firing on the archers. The outpost gets taken down, and this is a problem for DeMusliM. Despite being on 2 town centres, he's behind on villagers, and he is struggling on the military count too. 20 military for Marline Lord versus 7. And I hope you guys are enjoying the casted games here. I've got all the other, well, most of the other games played in Bull Wololo Legacy casted on the channel on the playlist, so do check it out. I'm feeling a bit under weather, so I do apologise for the voice. I'm not entirely sure how it's coming out, but it probably sounds a bit croaky, but this was too big an event to miss the opportunity to cast. So what can you do? Just have to power through and try and get as much entertainment value for you guys as possible. So the archers might be looking to snipe some of the horsemen, and the army starting to build up though a little bit there for DeMusliM. Mostly horsemen. Not a bad play, but it will need something to counter the knights, but because there are rams involved, this is going to be it's really be a struggle here. He might take... No, the ram survives. He does lose a horseman. DeMusliM, look at the army value here. 3,700 army value for Marline Lord versus the 1,400 for DeMusliM, and DeMusliM struggling to push this back. There is the ram on last limbs, and okay, looks like Marline Lord is heading towards this position. He wants to pressurize these 2 outposts. Arrow slits will be coming in, but with a second ram approaching very quickly, you get the feeling DeMusliM is under a lot of pressure. And 13 minutes into the game, Marline Lord in a strong position. He might be equalizing this set, bringing it 1-1, might be moving it to a decider, a game 3 to decide who ends up progressing to the next round of Bull Wololo Legacy. And look at this, a group of 5 knights joining into the fight. That is a lot of units, and looking to take an engagement now. I think DeMusliM will see that, and he taps out. He knows he's beaten, and he will move on to game number 3. Marline Lord evens out the set, and we're going to move on to game number 3, the big game in this set, the decider. Don't go anywhere, it's coming right up. Welcome back. Game number 3, it all comes down to this. The series at the moment is 1-1. DeMusliM spawning in the north of the map, which is Basin, and is spawning in blue as the Chinese. And he will be up against Marine Lord's Holy Roman Empire, spawning in the south in yellow. And this is the big crunch game. It all comes down to this one player who will be heading towards that quarterfinals for Red Bull Wololo Legacy, this $300,000 tournament. And the other player, unfortunately, will be heading home away from Germany. Two great players here for Age of Empires 4, but only one can progress to the next round. Who will it be? Two of the strongest civilizations, arguably, in Age of Empires 4 right now. Both civilizations can have a powerful punch when it comes to a booming economy, especially the Chinese. It will be interesting to see how both players play this. Now, the Chinese is certainly one of the favorite civilizations for DeMusliM. We've seen him play this civilization over and over again, so he is equipping himself well with the civilization choice. But the Holy Roman Empire are incredibly strong with their economy as well, with the prelate buffing up these villagers, making them gather 40% faster, and is now on gold as well, looking to have a fast up time for the feudal age. Now, just thinking about strategies really here, it could be the case that the Chinese have multiple town centers with the Song dynasty, going to get the villager count up and running with a strong economy and playing defensive in the early game. The Holy Roman Empire, though, do have some options of their own, and that could potentially be a fast castle into grabbing those relics with the Regnant's Cathedral, possibly even a Burgrave Palace to go for heavy aggression, but against the Chinese that will be difficult to do. Possibly even the Holy Roman Empire can go for a relatively fast Imperial Age to get the Palace of Swabia to try and match the villager production that the Chinese will get with their Song dynasty. But a risk with that for Marine Lord will be that if the Chinese do boom heavily with a strong villager lead for a long period of time, they will be gathering resources, a lot of it, and saving it up. And it does mean the lead time will be there for the Chinese if the Holy Roman Empire are going to try and edge towards that Imperial Age. Surely the Imperial Age coming in for Holy Roman Empire with the Palace of Swabia will mean that the villager lead will plummet and will equalize as the game develops. But it really is going to be interesting to see how this one flips around this game. Archon Chapel being built by 7 villagers. That's quite a few villagers to commit to this, actually. So possibly looking for some feudal age aggression here for the Holy Roman Empire. We see a village being placed there for DeMusliM, going to be increasing the population space, but this is really coming down to the wire. This final game, we've seen 2 fantastic games already from these 2 players, and it feels a bit rough that these 2 players are being separated with a best of 3. Of course, they have had 2 sets prior to this, so they've had ample opportunity to qualify already, but it just feels crazy that one of these 2 fantastic players of Age of Empires 4 will be going out today and not progressing to that quarterfinals, as we see one villager starting to build that Imperial Academy. And it is likely that it's a Song dynasty build here for the Chinese, so we'll be expecting to see a Barbican of the Sun being dropped. It'll be interesting to see where that is placed. Possibly here on the west side. This is a little bit open and exposed, and that is where the gold vein is. As we see now, the Archon Chapel has been built by Marine Lord, acting off as a drop-off point, and Prelate Garrison inside. Very nicely going to be able to inspire a lot of resources, the gold, wood, and the sheep underneath the TC. Speaking of sheep underneath the TC, there aren't that many left, and sheep being pulled away here, 3 of them for DeMusliM, heading back home, playing as a Chinese. Holy smokes. I mean, I would love to hear your comments and thoughts on who's going to win this, guys. If you're still watching this on YouTube and haven't watched it live and don't know what the result is, drop a comment in the comment section below. I want to know what your thoughts are. Who do you think will have won this? And obviously you're going to have to answer honestly. There's no way of me knowing whether you've answered after watching the game or not. It's just interesting to see because both players are so strong. As we see 3 villagers heading out east now. For DeMusliM, maybe looking to get that Barbican on this side, maybe on this position here, actually. That could be a nice protection for 2 gold veins and a deer position there. Putting a bit more central behind this wood line. Could potentially wall between the 2 wood lines though as well. So options are plentiful for that Barbican of the Sun location, but he does want to protect this long-term economy here. 2 gold veins. Pretty important to keep safe. Quite a closed map generation for Basin, has to be said, actually. Interesting map generation. 2 wood, massive lumber lines there for DeMusliM. Often see a much more open map here on Basin, but certainly going to be closed on this particular generation, and very fair as well, with both lumber being forward for both players. It does set itself up for the late game, actually. Shall see. 8 villagers moving forward, maybe on the deer there, it looks to be the case. He's going to be dropping a second town centre here, Marine Lord, so he's going to match the villager production, at least for now. Just one town centre so far, but Song Dynasty is in play though, for the Chinese, getting wheelbarrow as well. And so, a couple of villagers lead there for DeMusliM, having access to Song Dynasty a little bit earlier from that second town centre, not yet up for the Holy Roman Empire. Wheelbarrow is coming in soon for DeMusliM. No eco upgrades yet for Marine Lord though. Has got a barracks of his own, looking to get some spearmen on the field potentially. Maybe, is it going to be man-at-arms? It is actually man-at-arms. Go towards that gold vein, looking to deny that gold. And that's quite a nice bit of attack there, a bit of aggression. Will mean that further eco upgrades will be difficult for DeMusliM to get, although he can rely on the Imperial official to collect tax, as he is doing, as you can see here. He's going to now supervise the villagers on stone. There are 11 of them. Scout notices it from Marine Lord, so Marine Lord knows exactly what DeMusliM is up to here. DeMusliM has plenty of wood, just needs a stone now for a second town centre. Now the villager lead will be starting to build up, and I do wonder whether Marine Lord will be looking to get that Castle Age and some relics, whether they will be sort of eyeing up an Imperial Age timing. A couple of villagers are a little bit idle there, not enough space around the sheep. And they will be needing to transition to another food resource. It does have some berries there you could take advantage of. We will see. But big stakes in this one. Man-at-Arms does head towards that back position. Villagers pull off that stone mine. Does have enough for a second town centre though. And it's going a bit of an awkward location. I mean, it's not really on the berries, not really on the gold. Kind of interesting to see that. It does allow some farming space. Maybe that's what it's for, but we'd possibly be thinking about getting granaries for the farming drop-off, and Man-at-Arm's going to look to try and deny and just maybe take a villager or two, but yeah, this is good value here for Marine Lord. One Man-at-Arm is going to try and just delay this town centre going up, and he might pick up a villager. In fact, the villager now backs off, and I mean, he could just engage here. DeMusliM is going to send in a fresh batch of villagers here. None of them are weak here. Man-at-Arm's going to try and take a villager, but no, the Man-at-Arms will go down, and now the town centre will be built. But villager lead now sitting at 4, not all that many actually. And don't forget, there is a 40% buff of these villagers. Six villagers on that gold vein. And does look like that's going to be setting up Marine Lord nicely for the Castle Age. He's about to go up to the next stage, you feel. Double broadaxe coming in. Horticulture is already in for DeMusliM. No eco upgrades for Marine Lord. He is really going for that fast Castle Age time. Let's just see what it goes up with. Is it going to be the Regulus Cathedral? And the thing about this position for DeMusliM is giving away the opportunity for Marine Lord to get relics. And if he does go up with the Regulus Cathedral, which he is, he's going up with a significant number of villagers, 11 of them. The prelates might start to head out to those relic positions, and I mean, there's no way you can get this relic really, but there are another 4 relics up for grabs across the map there. If it does bring those relics home, that'll be a large gold income for the Holy Roman Empire. The Regulus Cathedral, one of those landmarks which acts as a monastery, but also allows 100% gold to come in whilst they are garrisoned inside. 100% extra gold, that is. As the wolf just... Wait, what's going on here? Okay, you can't actually pick up the relics just yet, but we'll want to get the prelate in position. Imperial official picking up some tax from that mine there. And there's Imperial examinations coming in for the Chinese, which will increase the maximum amount of gold from 40 to 80 to be collected. And there's that Castle Age relics being picked up, and really, I mean, DeMusliM has 1 military. He cannot deny the relics. That's actually a bit of a concern, but I've casted games for DeMusliM before, and he has won games playing as Chinese versus the Holy Roman Empire, despite losing access to the relics. So the Chinese boom is so strong that the Chinese boom can actually overcome the power of the relics in many cases. I've seen DeMusliM do it before. He's looking to do it again, and you know, he's happy to wall up and turtle here and just boom his way out of this game, as the first relic does come in for the Holy Roman Empire. But see, as the game goes later and later, that will suit the Holy Roman Empire a bit. But look at that, 58 villagers to 45, and that's a lot of extra resources that will be coming out. Astronomical Clock Tower is going up to the Castle Age soon. Villagers being pulled away. This is a Castle Age Man-at-Arms, so can't really deal with that just yet. Imperial official does get some tax there, 54. Picking up more relics, the second relic being deposited now. That's really going to help, and I mean, look at the food income here. It's looking decent for both players, actually looking a bit better for Chinese. Being Basin, he'll actually be able to capture the sacred site, another 100 gold per minute coming into the kitty for the Holy Roman Empire. And he's somewhat keeping up the village count. There's the castle age for DeMusliM now. But the big difference is as well is that the passive gold coming in from the relics, well, Marline Lord didn't need to invest food for those. It just comes in now passively. A lot of food being pumped into those villages for DeMusliM. Does need a bit of time to pay themselves back, but I mean, not all that much. They, each villager costs 50 food, and it takes a minute or so for a villager to gather 40 resources. So just over a minute, it pays itself back. Of course, there's the initial cost for a town center, but I mean, he's got 2 town centers, so does the Holy Roman Empire. Really, the extra cost is the Song Dynasty, which is only 400 food, 200 gold. Extra, as we see more relics being picked up. 3 have been deposited already in the Regis Cathedral, I believe, and he's got 1 more in his grasp here. The Holy Roman Empire. Where is that Regis Cathedral? There it is. And looking to get the Central Sacred Site as well. More gold will be coming in. Look at the resource count. Look at the gold income. It looks like the Holy Roman Empire might be edging towards that Imperial Age. Almost has enough gold to do so. Just needs a bit more food, but 1,000 food coming in per minute. Just need to idle his production for like half a minute, and he'll be able to afford that Imperial Age. And the Palace of Swabi getting an outpost on the front lines, well, the front of his base at least, towards those barriers. Going to be able to try and protect that area. Does have a few man-at-arms darted around the map, offer some control of the map a little bit. And but the Chinese are happy just to turtle up a little bit here. Palisades on the west side, protected on the right side by the Barbican of the Sun. And yeah, it looks like Imperial Age might be on the way soon. Eco upgrades coming in, as you can see, horticulture, getting veterancy to the horsemen. Oh, so this is a very interesting play. You kind of read this like a book. Have a think about it. So, I mean, Marine probably sees this anyway, but, Marine Lord invested into barracks with some man-at-arms. It makes natural sense then for the Chinese to open up with crossbows, and therefore the counter to that will be horsemen, and hence the elite upgrade coming in for the Holy Roman Empire. And the Palace of Swabia is being built. Imperial Age transition. Now, the one thing that the Palace of Swabia really does well is pump out those villagers super fast and super cheaply. But not only does it do that for the Holy Roman Empire, going up to the next stage means that the units will be Imperial Age units. The Imperial Age units or not, they're going to be slain to those crossbows. Crossbows heading forward, going to be decapping that central sacred site. And the horsemen might be popping out. Let's just see how many stables Marine Lord has right now. He has 3. Those could become elite horsemen once he gets to the Imperial Age. There's the Imperial Age. Does he queue up the elite upgrade? He does not. Not just yet. He's going to get some more units on the field. Doesn't have all that many. You get the feeling that, DeMusliM will want to try and pressure this, but he can't really. Doesn't have much military of his own. Has a huge economy. Might be thinking of going to the Imperial Age, but, the difference is that when DeMusliM gets to the Imperial Age, he will have a heck of a lot of resources to pump into army. The same cannot be said so much for Marine Lord at the moment, but that will build up as the villagers are being printed as we speak from the Palace of Swabia. Look how fast they're coming out. It's a little bit bonkers. They train every 6 seconds, and they only cost 17 food compared to the usual 50. So the village count differential will be starting to narrow here, and big difference is that the Imperial Age is in, and so the upgrades will come in pretty quickly as well. And Tithe Barns coming in from Marine Lord. That's actually going to give him 30 food, 30 wood, and 30 stone every minute for each relic as well. So it's a lot of relics. The relics do have to be placed in the monastery. Well, there are 3 in this Regis Cathedral. There's a relic in that forward outpost, but still the Tithe Barns would certainly be helpful here. We'll see on top of the monastery, 79 gold coming in there. There's a trickle. Horsemen heading that way. They are veteran at the moment, but soon to be elite. Getting the eco upgrades as well. So, I mean, 20 villages lead for the Chinese, and he has had that lead for quite some time, to be fair. But he is still in the Castle Age, and behind this, Imperial Age, well, actually these are Castle Age upgrades coming in, eco upgrades, but there will be Imperial Age soon upgrades coming in. Horseman does go down, despite being elite status. Doesn't actually have any blacksmith upgrades. Well, the first one comes in now with the iron undermesh. Crossbows being pulled out on the right side. Now, crossbows will be able to deal quite nicely against horsemen. Even though the horsemen count them, the ranged, like the base attack for the crossbows are not too terrible. Obviously, it really is going to be turning into a numbers game. Fighting underneath the Barbican of the Sun, DeMusliM will not worry about that at all. The horsemen try and scamper out of there. Just not enough horsemen to dive that. A lot of villagers on stone, getting some keeps to try and defend his position. But the issue for the Chinese at this position, being an Imperial Age, means bombards will be on the way. And 2 siege workshops going for the Holy Roman Empire. He's walling up as well, doesn't want to be leaving us exposed, controlling this map on the east side of the basin. Horsemen will be taken apart, and lots of resources kind of wasted there from Marine Lord, has to be said. Didn't get too much value out of that. Tried to stick his neck in a little bit, but a large amount of army now being built by DeMusliM. DeMusliM staying in the castle age at the moment, building up a large force, or at least maintaining a standing army to be safely going up to the next stage. But look at the villager count, barely a difference between them, and you know, that difference that the Chinese would have had by having the villagers out earlier, as time goes on, that effect becomes a lot more reduced, just in the grand context of the game. But Man at Arms isn't really a unit that Marine Lord can go for anymore with this number of crossbows. He's going to try and harass some of the villagers. Might take a couple of them, but it's going to struggle. Takes out 2 villagers, and then the horsemen have to retreat out of there, lest they be slain. A lot of villagers going to this west side gold vein now. Looks like DeMusliM is still staying in that castle age. This is a concern because DeMusliM will want that age up, because he's going to be facing up against an Imperial Age army, biology coming in as well. That's going to increase the health of all the cavalry by 20%, so the horsemen going to be even extra tankier. Going to get a 20% boost. That'll be 36 extra HP there for them. Once that upgrade does come in, we'll take him over the 200 mark for total HP. Oh, might he deny the walls? It looks like he is just about denying the walls. The villagers will be running the risk of being killed, and the horsemen dive in. Oh, I take that back. It's actually, yeah, no, it's 216 HP, total HP for the horseman. Going to dive that Barbican and Sun. I'm not sure he's going to be able to survive that, but in any case, he's doing some damage on the west side, and the the stone walls rather, looking to be going up, but horsemen try and deny it, but won't get too much value. There are crossbows there. Those walls will go up eventually, even if the horsemen have to perish to do so. And the spear is going to chase those horsemen, so this is tricky for Marine Lord. He's facing up against 2 counter units, and in fact, looks like DeMusliM has the central sacred site, but there is that bombard. Going to start unpacking and looking to take down that keep on the front lines. Blacksmith upgrades coming in nicely for DeMusliM. DeMusliM maybe itching towards that Imperial Age. Look at the food income. I mean, the income for Marine Lord, a little bit crazy here. Almost 2,000 of each resource, apart from stone, of course. And plenty of wood coming in, almost 2,000. The same cannot be said for DeMusliM though, rather strangely enough, and I'm not entirely sure why that's the case actually. He has got the supervision, massive amount of eco here at the back there, granaries are rocking and rolling. Quite a heavy farming transition, but I think it's also down to the Ark and Chapel and the prelates. Look at this. If he's got prelates around the map, and that'll be incredibly strong for the economy. He has got quite a few pockets of economy without prelates inspiring. Look here, there is a prelate there somewhere as well, yeah, inspiring the wood villagers. As we see some bombards unpacking, takes out that unit on the central sacred site, looking to be decapped now that the keep has been taken up to pieces. And the army steadily heading forward from Marine Lord. Marine Lord has a bit of a saving of stone, maybe looking to get a forward keep position potentially. Outpost doesn't have any emplacements, so that goes down pretty quickly. Orson might dive on this, but 4 Nester bees pushing that away. And looks like Marine Lord just being patient. I think he's waiting for DeMusliM to invest in that Imperial Age, and he's going up with the Spirit Way, and potentially as he ages up to Imperial Age now, Marine Lord might take this opportunity to be a bit more aggressive here. We shall see, because I'm not sure that the Holy Roman Empire will want to go to the super late game. Having said that, having 4 relics under his belt is certainly going to help the HRE with the gold. Okay, Nester B's heading back, and there are some Lance Connector in there as well. Nice army here for the Holy Roman Empire. There's a culverin. And DeMusliM needs to get something against that that big bombard. Doesn't have any springolds. Just 4 Nester Bees. Actually, he might have 1 springold. I think he has 1 springold there. Yeah, he does indeed have 1 springold, but he's not going to be a match for the culverin. And just reaching the Imperial Age now, it means that the eco upgrades will need to come in and take some time. Marching drills coming in for the Holy Roman Empire. He's got the 3rd and final food upgrade. Horsemen engage against the spears. The Lance Connector going to get there on the back line, from the back line, going to clear up those spears. And Nester Bees are unfolding and shooting off their fireworks. Horsemen being drawn on the west side. Oh, this is a great play by Marine Lord. He's heading in with a massive bulk of horsemen, but look at this. A group of 4 horsemen on the west side around that village pulls away so many elite spearmen, takes it away from the main fight, and that means this horseman here on the right side gets a good attack on the village. That will actually hamper the population space for DeMusliM. If that goes down, it does, and that's not helpful for DeMusliM. He does have the population space for now, though. Spears on hand. A lot of the horsemen do go down eventually now, but there's the forward keep position looking to be put down by Marline Lord, and villagers aren't there just yet. He needs to hold on, but there are a lot of spearmen. Might lose a bombard here. I think he will lose a bombard. Lance connector there. Lance connector going to sweep up the spearmen. The spearmen get taken apart by the lance connector. It's very deceptive. These lance connector do so much splash damage. So much splash damage. It takes out a lot of the spearmen, and now the horsemen survive despite going up against the spearmen all coming down the lance connector, and the horsemen going to dive upon those crossbows. Lance connector, if they get close and personal to those crossbows, those guys will be goners. Here come the villagers, looking to put the keep a bit further forward. And it's going to start hammering away at that keep. 11 villagers. Horsemen are keeping alive. There are a couple of lancers there as well, and looks to be in a strong position here. Marline Lord, 59 military versus 25. DeMusliM back against the wall, and Holy Roman Empire, boom, working so well here. Look at the villager count. In fact, look at the economy here. This is so open, and it's open to raiding, and that's exactly what's happening. Marline Lord at 134 villagers, only 100 villagers for DeMusliM. He's struggling to keep the economy alive. He's under pressure. He's being raided on the front and in the back, and look at these idle farms now. That is a big problem. 15 villagers idle for DeMusliM. Has only 109. I say only, that's a lot of villagers, but comparatively, horsemen diving in that position, going to get even more villagers. Spearmen sent in that direction to try and defend, but villagers will go down, and that keep a strong position to be able to fight from. Marline Lord looking strong in this third game. He has the opportunity to seal the deal, and if he does win this game, he will progress to the quarterfinals. DeMusliM will not want that to happen. He wants to go to the quarterfinals for sure. There's no doubt about that. And look at the army numbers though. DeMusliM struggling to produce, only 12 army, and he taps out. DeMusliM calls it. Marline Lord, he seals the deal. He wins this third game, and he books his place in the quarterfinals of Red Bull Wololo Legacy.